And then they said it's for the kids, you know. Everybody should bring their kids. You bring the kids, and all the husbands are stoned. The wives, you know, are bitching at the husbands. Huh?
I don't think it's good to bring
I
kids.
brought my kids last
Especially when
year,
the
you
guys
know.
drink.
Yeah.
I brought the well, you know, Johnny says a family picnic. His kids were there too, you know.
Yeah, but he doesn't get stoned out of his mind either.
No, but then thingy, last year I didn't know any of them people there neither, you know, except for meeting them 2 months before I went to the picnic, and I had my give him a crack. I had my two oldest, no, the two youngest kids there, you know, and the baby was only 6 months old, and I wasn't stoned in the beginning, you know, and then after everything was getting going, you know. Then we all tried getting home. Well, everybody goes their separate ways. You break down, there's nobody to help you or anything else. Last year when we went to Star Rock just for the ride, they got all nothing but curves, you know, and rocky cliffs and stuff. Well, first Wahoo caught it. Then, I don't know, we had so many close calls going there, coming back when all the guys were stiff. And I didn't think I was going to make it back alive. I was sick to my stomach. I couldn't wait until they stopped at a tavern just so I could even have a couple drinks, you know, so I figured maybe if I get smashed, I won't feel nothing, you know. This is how bad it was. And this was only with maybe about 15 of us.
Hey, Kathy, remember once you were telling me about when you first met the guys?
Yeah.
How you,
I changed. I have.
Tell me about that.
In a year, well, last year, what, from the beginning?
Yeah,
Last year, my girlfriend called me up and she asked me to come down to Grand and Division. She needed some money. And she said it was a bar. And she says that the guys were having a meeting there. Well, I didn't know the guys or anything, so I went there, and I never felt so out of place in all my life. I walked in there and I had white Levi's on. I had a sweater on, you know. And I looked, and the first guy I seen was Corky, with an earring hanging out of his ear, his belly button showing, you know, like half naked. To me, it was like half naked, you know. And here he's hooting and hollering, you know, and he scared the living shit out of me. So I sees my girlfriend and I goes over by her and I sits down there, you know, and I'm taking everything in, and all these guys, they kept coming up to me and saying, you know, different stuff. Oh, you need a man, or, you know, you want to come live with me? And I was about ready to, you know, just run. So I was getting ready to get up, and all of a sudden I seen Benny, and he was standing at the end of the bar, and I said to my girlfriend, I says, boy, I says, who's that good-looking blonde? I says, he don't look like the rest of these guys, you know. She says, oh, Kathy, she says, you don't want to go out with him. She says, nobody wants to go out with him. And I says, why? She says, because he cracks up on his bike. Every time he gets on his bike, he has an accident, you know. I says, oh. I says, okay. So she ordered me a Coke, and I sat there, and I was shooting the breeze with her, and all of a sudden Benny came up behind me. And he started talking to me and this and that, and I said, well, I got to go home. So I walks out the front door real nice, being grabbed about 5 times that when I got outside I could see on my slats, you know, were just handprints all over me. So I'm standing on the bus corner almost in tears, you know, because I thought, oh my God, something's going to happen to me yet. And they all come charging out of the front door. And they had Benny start up the bike, and they grabbed me, and they took my purse, and they put me on Benny's bike. And they told him to take off and to meet him on the expressway. So he takes off, he goes through the stoplights and everything so that I wouldn't jump off, and I wouldn't have jumped off anyway because I was scared shitless. I'd never been on a motorcycle in all my life. So finally we get out on the expressway and all the guys come and they're laughing and laughing. So we went to the Green Duck out in, I don't know, on River Road or something. But before we got there, I'm sitting on the bike real nice. I figured, well, he'll get me home. You know, at least they're not doing nothing to me. All of a sudden, he takes his hand, he puts it in the back. I just say, what are you doing? He says, I'm just checking so you don't fall off. I says, okay, like an idiot, you know. I thought he was really checking it out, you know. So the second time it happened, I said, don't worry about me. I says, I won't fall off. He says, okay, you know, and he was real nice about it, you know. So when we gets to this Green Duck, by that time, you know, I wasn't scared no more, you know, because Johnny, when I got off the bike, Johnny was real nice to me. He says, don't worry. He says, I'm the president of this club. He says, and I wouldn't let nothing happen. He says, they're all, you know, only having fun, and, you know, this one guy wanted to go out with you. So I says, okay, you know. So I goes in the washroom, and all the girls followed me in there. And they started giving me this bullshit where, now that guy's mine, and that guy's mine, and that guy's mine, and that guy's mine, and you better leave him alone, and all this other bullshit. And the guys had me more scared than the girls, because they didn't scare the shit out of me at all, because they were just, they're just girls, I knew they couldn't rape me or nothing. So that night I didn't get home till 4 in the morning. And I swore I'd never go with them guys again. Never. Because, they were like animals. They didn't talk the same way I did, and it was everything F this and F that, By the time the night was over, my ears were ringing, from listening to them all bragging and this and that. So Benny came home with me, brought me home, and my boyfriend was sitting on the front porch. So I says, good night, adios. And I says to this guy I was going, I said, I never want to see them guys again. They're really idiots, So the next day, Benny called me up and he asked me if I wanted to go to a race. I says, no. He called me up on Sunday. I says, no. Called me up all during the week. I says, nope, I'm not going with you. I says, I can't get a babysitter and this and that, So finally one night he planted himself here all night and he wouldn't go home. So then my boyfriend would still come over and Benny would still sit here and I'd tell him, you better go and this and he wouldn't go. So finally my boyfriend left and Benny was still around. So he says, let me take it to the meeting, everything will be real nice. So I went to the meeting, and then, after that I started going with him. I only went out with him, none of the other guys from the club, and 5 weeks later I married him.
Well, what is this for? Is that for the thing I read in the paper?
Yeah, he got 11 tickets. This morning, it was on a Thursday morning.
Hey,
He didn't work that day, see, so he said he needed mufflers on the bike, or baffles on the bike. So him and I goes down to that place on Cicero. We gets baffles for the bike. We comes home, he fixes it up so that it wouldn't make noise, So he says, okay, I'll pick you up in 5 minutes. So I says, okay. He says, I'm just going to test it out. So the next thing I know, it was an hour later. I said, where the hell is he, And I says to his boyfriend, something must have happened because he knew I was sitting here waiting. We were going to go to the beach. And all of a sudden the police came at about 6 o'clock, and they said, your husband's in Elmwood Park Jail. And I thought, well, disturbing the peace or something, They said 11 tickets, $2,500 bond. And they said they tried stopping him for loud mufflers. And I knew he didn't have loud mufflers. I think it was because he had the colors on his back, and they've been in this neighborhood off and on all the time.
They still consider baffles instead of straight pipes as loud mufflers.
Well, these were closed, though. Everything was closed. It hardly was even making no noise. Anyway, they stopped him and they gave him 11 tickets. Driving on revoked license. Well, he tried to run away from him, and then he went to a school zone at 85 miles an hour at 3:30 in the afternoon. And then he went through 4 stop signs, and he, what else did he do? Went through stop lights and stop signs, and he had police out of 3 districts chasing him.